working in the spirit of the Golden Empire. This is 17 News at Sunrise.
We examined the data as Kern sees its biggest one-day spike in cases of COVID-19 to date. And as more people are diagnosed, a local health emergency is declared.
And child abuse watchdogs worry who's looking out for kids now that we're more isolated than ever. How the community is called on to reach out and stop abuse.
National companies join the fight against the pandemic. What two major car manufacturers are doing as others convert assembly lines to help stop hospital shortages. This is Tuesday, March 31st, 2020. A lot of people are getting creative right now and trying to help in any way they can. Good morning, 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen here in studio with Alex Fisher.
And we're taking a look at your forecast on this Tuesday, and it's going to be another beautiful day in the Golden Empire. Let's turn things over to Kevin Charette.
Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Maddie. Yeah, it is going to be a beautiful day. Yesterday, it was also nice. Take a look at the temperature. We were at 70 degrees. The normal high, 71 this time of year, and a record of 90 set back in 2015. As you can see, the skies are pretty much clear. We'll see a few high clouds throughout the day, but that is about it around Kern County. Right now, we sit at 49 degrees, a light wind out of the west at 3 miles per hour. Visibility, of course, is good right now. And as we take a look at the hour-by-hour forecast for you, we will be starting out in the 40s, but you can see a nice rise throughout the afternoon. We'll be right near 71. For the mountains, 41 degrees in Tehachapi. We've got a westerly wind at 10. Visibility is good at 9 miles. And as we take a look at the temperatures throughout the day, starting out again chilly into those 40s and then rising right near 60 throughout the afternoon. I'll have much more in your forecast. That's coming up in just a little bit. But for now, we'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
All right, Kev, thanks so much.
Well, the number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Kern County spiked dramatically yesterday. 76 people have tested positive for COVID-19. That's up from 60 yesterday morning. That includes 2 non-residents. One woman from Delano has died from the virus. There are more than 1,400 negative tests and 938 are still pending. Here's a look at how these cases break down by region. There are 15 in the Valley region. That's the pink area on the map there in front of you. 40 in the Bakersfield West region, 15 in East Bakersfield, 2 in the mountain communities, and 2 in the desert.
Well, 2 weeks ago, the Public Health Department said community spread was unlikely, and now the same department has declared a local health emergency.
It comes as, again, there are now 76 confirmed COVID-19 cases in Kern County. 17's Karen Waugh explains what the declaration means.
As coronavirus numbers have surged, public health has declared a local health emergency. But what exactly does that mean?
It allows the ability to implement plans to work with partners to ensure targeted populations have access to health care, medications, and equipment. And finally, this ability allows us to access resources from the state and federal government.
This also means public health can order which businesses can and can't stay open.
Last week, we sent out health inspectors to every business that we had received some sort of complaint on, asking them to heed the recommendation from the governor.
To help out businesses hit hard by closures.
So there has been launched a business response team that businesses can go online and seek out support and answers and services.
As for what will stay open,
our police and fire response, our trash, sewer, and water services will remain intact.
Parks will be kept open too, but with more restrictions, like caution tape prohibiting the use of playgrounds and sports equipment.
We're asking everyone to please practice social distancing in our parks. Because this has been somewhat of a challenge, we're going to begin to increase our signage.
And hospitals are expanding.
The governor has asked that every hospital develop a plan where we can take 40% greater the number of patients than we do on a regular basis.
In case of any overflow, there's also a plan to put up an alternative care site at the fairgrounds.
They're being set up in 250-person increments in separate pods.
Public Health says their current supply of PPE will last 2 more weeks until the state can replenish them.
At this point, we don't have an imminent need, but we believe there will be resources that will be available and additional requirements that we may have. So this is our opportunity to position the county well.
In Bakersfield, Karen Hua, 17 News.
And once again, here's a look at where you can get tested. Priority Urgent Care's 4 locations are testing, as well as accelerated urgent care on Coffee Road and Stockdale Highway. Omni Health and local hospitals are also testing patients. And Dignity Health offers a free online checkup for people with milder symptoms. And just a reminder, you will only be tested if you are showing symptoms, so make sure you call your doctor first. And here's a look at some of the symptoms of COVID-19. It includes fever, a dry cough, meaning there will not be mucus, fatigue, and difficulty breathing. Less common symptoms include aches and pains, sore throat, runny or stuffy nose, and diarrhea. And just a reminder that loss of smell and taste is also a common symptom for coronavirus. As you know, the flu is also going around as well, and those symptoms are similar, but muscle and joint pain, a runny nose, and headache will be more common for the flu. Meantime, a lot of people have allergies right now. Those symptoms include sneezing, coughing, a runny or stuffy nose, and itchy eyes. And it's important to note, although you may want to rub your eyes, don't touch your face. That's how viruses like COVID-19 and the flu can spread.
It's 5:06 now. The first COVID-19 cases have been reported in the Los Angeles homeless population. The public health director says 2 people are infected. One person who works in a Los Angeles County shelter has also contracted the virus. Nearly 60,000 people were counted as homeless in Los Angeles County in 2019.
A bomb scare at Bakersfield Heart Hospital triggered a massive law enforcement response. Police rushed to the hospital after a call came into the department around 7:15 last night. BPD says the caller mentioned propane tanks would be set off to force an explosion. Officers searched the area and did not find any explosive devices. The hospital was placed on lockdown during the search, but things are now back to normal. If you have any information on the case, you're asked to call police at 327-7111. In your 17 Court Watch, a Bakersfield man accused of killing his girlfriend's daughter had his first hearing yesterday. 37-year-old Clint Mason appeared during a teleconference hearing in Superior Court yesterday. Mason is accused of killing 8-year-old Jeremiah Alexander at a home on San Dimas Street in central Bakersfield. You may remember on March 18th, investigators say Mason beat the girl for hours because she didn't do her homework. Mason is charged with torture and murder. His arraignment has been continued to next week.
Well, with families more isolated than ever before, child advocates fear that family violence could be on the rise. Teachers, counselors, and doctors are just some of the people who often keep a watchful eye on children who might reflect signs of child abuse or neglect. But now that more children are at home, their problems and abuse could go unseen for weeks. With some parents out of work and tensions rising, it's not surprising that these circumstances could lead to abuse.
Any household where there has been violence in the past, there is a concern and a greater likelihood of there being additional violence in a time like this.
Louis Gill, the executive director of the Alliance Against Family Violence and Sexual Assault, says that just because you're in self-isolation doesn't mean you should stop checking up on people. A call or a FaceTime can allow people to make sure that certain at-risk kids can still be monitored even in these times. In 2018, 41 children a day were referred to Child Protective Services. The majority of those who reported cases either worked with or saw children on a day-to-day basis. For more ways to help, visit our website, kget.com. And if you suspect child abuse, call the Child Abuse Hotline at 631-6011.
Well, still to come, many workers are afraid of losing their jobs and their livelihood during this outbreak.
Still ahead, 17's Taylor Shaw will tell us about a local business trying to help its employees make it through.
Welcome back. KGET is teaming up with Adventist Health Bakersfield to highlight the many inspiring stories in our community. Lives are transformed every day by people in our community who care. taking action to better the lives of others. And one local business is doing just that for its employees during this difficult time. 17's Taylor Schaub joins us now with the story. Good morning, Taylor.
Good morning, Alex. And that's right. Countryside markets and restaurants wanted to honor their employees during this tough and very difficult period. And what they did was give a bonus to all 400 of them. It's a picture-perfect March day for those driving along Highway 119. As commuters make their way through the scenic stretch, they'll notice an upscale rest stop. But pull in and go inside, and you'll be struck by the service you receive.
You know, everyone out there working hard, they are our heroes.
Heroes indeed, because as we know in these uncertain times, it takes guts to man the cash registers, prepare the food, and disinfect the surfaces. So Countryside Market's Raji Brar wanted to let these brave men and women know just how much she appreciates their tireless work.
We want them to know they're not alone. And we want them to know that we are thinking of them.
Giving out a company-wide raise of $1 per hour. Even though this family-run business, like many in Kern County, is struggling to stay afloat.
Our sales are down by 50%.
But that's not all. In addition to the raise, employees here at Countryside received another bonus. Their own face mask.
Because we know they're on the front lines, and we know they're out there helping and they're serving.
Manager Hema Diaz was struck by the generosity.
It feels good to have bosses that worry about us and people in our community.
Speaking of the community, Brar hopes other businesses follow suit, because as she points out, in these tough times, a small gesture can make a world of difference.
If this was ever a time to be of service to your community, today is that day. And everybody needs to step up and do what they can.
And Alex, the giving doesn't stop there for Countryside. They're actually handing out free coffee and drinks to all first responders during this period. In Southwest Bakersfield, Taylor Schaub, 17 News.
Pretty neat story. Thanks so much, Taylor. All right, well, still to come this morning on Sunrise, all you need is love and an internet connection. How one couple may do after coronavirus complicated their wedding day.
KGET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back. It's 5:23. The COVID-19 pandemic has already staggered the U.S. economy, some areas more so than others. So how might we expect to fare in Bakersfield? 17's Robert Price has a glimpse at what the effects could be.
Chimera Economics and Analytics, a firm composed of PhD economists, statisticians, data scientists, and mathematicians, studied 384 metro areas in the U.S. and came up with what it calls its COVID-19 Economic Vulnerability Index. The index gauges what sort of negative impact the COVID-19 crisis might have on jobs in a region based on the industries present there. It might seem strange to study which cities are best equipped to weather a worldwide catastrophe, but that's precisely what Chimera researchers did. And guess what? Bakersfield is equipped to fare much, much better than almost every other metropolitan area. We're in the top 13. An average vulnerability index score is 100, which represents the average job loss expected in the United States. An index of 200, for example, means the rate of job loss is forecast to be twice as large as the national average. An index of 50 means half the national average. Coming out worst, Maui, followed by Atlantic City, New Jersey, and Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes, tourist destinations, all with index scores of more than 175. The least affected by COVID-19, Trenton, New Jersey, a government center with an index of 70, followed a few slots back by Metro Bakersfield, which for purposes of the study includes all of Kern County. Our score, 84.5. Why is that? Richard Chapman, CEO of the Kern Economic Development Corporation, thinks he knows why.
What this study reveals is the incredible diversity of our region's economy. And indeed, in the 2018 World Health Survey, we were the third most diverse economy in the U.S. And a lot of this has to do with the STEM-related jobs that create mobility, not just within new industries, but within existing industries. So moving forward, we work to develop these different legs of the stool to create that sustainability and economic security that is critical.
That's right. From a county-wide perspective, we're not just oil and food production. We're also government, logistics, aerospace, healthcare, and more. So based on this forecast, Bakersfield may potentially suffer much less than the average region. It's hard to be very happy about that, but in this climate of caution and fear, it's something. Robert Price, 17 News.
The survey was taken before oil prices dropped, but Chapman says he's confident there's still enough here in Kern County to justify our ranking. Well, the county has a way for you to connect to the internet for free. County officials say local libraries are Wi-Fi hotspots. You won't be able to go inside because the libraries are closed now, but you can bring a laptop or a device to the parking lot and connect from there. If you don't live by a library, Brian Alsop, County Administrative Officer, says it's likely that any county building you live by will also carry a free Wi-Fi signal. And KHSD will deploy school buses to act as Wi-Fi hotspots starting today. The buses will make stops every 30 minutes in different areas, and students will be able to connect to the Wi-Fi. All they need to do is be within 150 feet of the bus. Also, all KHSD comprehensive sites are available hotspots to all students in the community. Anyone with Wi-Fi capable device can connect. So yesterday, we heard Kern County Superintendent of Schools Mary Barlow talking about this. And so what some students and families are doing is when they go to school sites to pick up meals, they can then connect devices, download whatever they need for the day, maybe from their teachers, and then put those on those devices, take them home, and then have those to work on. Not all sites, school sites in Kern County are Wi-Fi hotspots, but it sounds like KHSD sites are and select school sites.
It's going to help tens of thousands of students in our community, so that's great news. All right, coming up the next half hour on Sunrise, Tracy Potts has a look at the latest developments in Washington this morning.